TheMtVernonkid here. What is good? My pack, I have gotten a lot of news to talk about for my fellow comic geeks out there. This is probably the biggest talk of news in the world of comics on this segment, Geek Thoughts. And let's get right into this. We got a lot of news coming out of Marvel. We got news coming out of Indie that I am so excited for, and out of DC. So let's kick it off with DC because Marvel has a lot, but let's talk about DC. So the man himself, Mark Waid, one of my favorite writers, and his partner in crime, Dan Mora, are coming back together. They've given us World's Finest. They've given us the Captain Marvel comic, or I'm not calling them by that S name. They've done a lot together for DC. But they're coming back again with the next big event for DC called Absolute Power. Absolute Power is going to be, they're going to put out a free comic book day edition that's going to tease what's to come. But this will be coming out later on. It's going to be a 4-part event. And other than that, DC's going back to putting comics out Wednesdays. If anybody hasn't known, DC has been putting out their comics on Tuesdays. They've come out earlier instead of like everyone else on Wednesdays. They're going back to that, so that's good. But this is going to be the Trinity: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and everyone else in between, battling the DC's Trinity of Dark. The Dark Trinity, as they're called. Failsafe, Brainiac Queen, and the Bitch, Amanda Waller. Yeah, this series is going to be all about Amanda Waller and her quest to eradicate all metahumans in the DC universe. This woman is tripping. This woman is tripping. I've told people not to trust this bitch. That's exactly what she is. Amanda Waller is tripping, and now she's going for broke, and it's going to take all of the DC heroes, especially the Trinity, to come up with a plan to stop the Dark Trinity from dishing out this punishment. Now, it's Mark Waid, people. I'm all about Mark Waid. I'm going to be giving it a shot. Maybe I'll wait till it comes out in trade. But it's Mark Waid. That's my man. I will read anything Mark Waid writes. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. So I like this. So now we move on to basically the indies. And one of my all-time favorite indie comics is returning back to the beginning, but with a fresh coat of paint, a re-imaging, if you say. So, if you want to know who I'm talking about, guys, I'm talking about Sarah Pazzini, aka Witchblade. Witchblade is returning. Top Cow dropped the news not too long ago. Top Cow Image Comics dropped the news not too long ago that they are bringing back Witchblade this July. I couldn't be more happy. I'm a huge Witchblade fan. I love this supernatural series. Yes, people will say, well, you know, if it wasn't for Spawn and everything, like, yes, but Witchblade was able to stand on her own, and because of Witchblade, then we got the Darkness, and then they came together, they had a child. Sorry, I know my history. But this is great. This is so great. I tweeted it and everything and just congratulated them and told them, like, you got my support on this. So who's going to be writing this new Witchblade series? Well, it's going to be the lovely and talented Marguerite Bennett, who I have met many times. It is a very lovely woman and a very tall, beautiful woman. Trust me on that. If you ain't never meet her before, if you ever meet her, she's sitting down, tell her to stand up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That she is an Amazon, but she's talented. And the artwork is going to be done by Giuseppe Carlaro. I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize for butchering it if I did. But this is a reimagining and a reimaging of Witchblade. But it's, as Mark Silverstone has said, it's for old readers like yours truly and new readers. Now, Image tried to come back with some. They tried to do this before, but have a different version of a Witchblade. It didn't last very long, but I gave it a shot because it's Witchblade. But at the end of the day, I'm glad to see that they're bringing back NYPD Detective Sarah Pizzini back to the fold. The Witchblade now looks a little different. You know, back in the day, she barely was wearing not much when the Witchblade was active, but this time it's more covered up. I understand it, and if anybody has a problem with that, you're a goddamn pervert. Okay, get over yourself. But I'm so happy for Witchblade returning, because if this happens, if Witchblade does well, then that means some of the other top cow Image characters could return with new series. The Darkness, Shadowhawks, all those great books that Mark Silverstone started. I'll be all for this. So yes, I'll be checking this out. Indeed, Marjorie Bennett is a great writer. If you haven't read any of her work, I guarantee you should. She's done a great job from DC Bombshells to, hell, she even did a badass, she did a reimagining of Josie and the Pussycats. She's done so much. It always amazes me, and we're not even related. But yes, Marjorie Bennett and gang coming back with Witchblade. I cannot wait. And now, guys, we move on to Marvel. I got a lot of Marvel, a lot of Marvel news for comic readers out there. Let's start it off with the man himself, the man known as Wolverine. The best there is at what he does, yeah, and what he does is not pretty. Legendary Mr. X-Men himself, Chris Claremont, returns to Marvel to write some untold stories of Wolverine. Now, I love that Marvel has been doing this with some of their characters, telling these untold stories. It started with Peter David and doing like the symbiote Spider-Man. These were tales that we didn't get to see when he had the symbiote and stuff like that. And they've been doing this as of late, and I always enjoy these. This time around, the story is called Wolverine Deep Cut. And basically, it's going to take place during that time when the X-Men were out in the outback in Australia. So this was a wild time for the X-Men. If you don't remember this, you probably weren't born, or so. If you were, then you know what I'm talking about. But Claremont returning is great. I can never say anything wrong with Mr. X-Men. That's exactly who he is. He is Mr. X-Men. You give him a character, and I tell you right now, this guy will know everything about him because of him and all the others, David Cockrum and all those, they really shaped the X-Men. Hell, X-Men 97 is doing pretty much almost several of his classic stories, and it's great. So yes, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, I probably won't pick this up in single issues. I'll probably pick this up in trade, so it'll probably read better. But I love the fact that Claremont is returning to Marvel. You can't keep a good Marvel writer down. Claremont, and especially someone who has shaped the X-Men, I'm all for that. That's going to be good to me. So we move on to those Children of the Atom, what's been going on with them. And of course, yes, we are seeing the fall of the Krakoa era and what is going to be going on. We've already seen who's going to be writing the three main X-Men titles. Gail Simone, Jed McKay, and Eve L. Ewing is going to be writing the three core X-Men titles. Uncanny X-Men, X-Men, and Exceptional X-Men. But we also started to see that there are going to be other titles that revolve around that. Jean is going back to, she's getting the Phoenix back. She's going to rise again, but this time a cosmic Avenger as the Phoenix. Forge is leading the new X-Force. Storm is coming back with her own series. I don't think they announced who is going to be writing that yet. We know Wolverine's getting his own series again, and we know that X Factor is coming. But there was a title called Nyx, which for anybody who's been reading Marvel, you know that was a story that was centered around Laura Kinney, aka Wolverine, aka X-23, you name it. Well, they're bringing it back, but this time around, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing are going to be doing this. Basically, they're taking several characters, several young mutants, and dropping them in New York City. And basically, the way I read it, I was like, this feels like the real world mixed with the X-Men. So it's going to be Laura, Wolverine, Anal, one of the Kuko sisters, Kamala Khan, and Prodigy. They're going to be dealing with growing up and dealing with the bigotry and every kind of ordeal that is going to be dealing with in New York City. So I think each one of them, from what I've read, each one of them could be in a different borough of New York, but still these are going to be the 5 main stars. Now, I've already seen people razz on this and like, wait, she's a Jersey girl. Why is she not doing in Jersey? Look, okay, as a New Yorker, okay, I can somewhat feel your pain to everybody from Jersey, okay? But even in the Marvel Universe, don't nothing happen in Jersey. Sorry. When it comes to Marvel, New York City is just as much a character as the characters themselves. So, where'd you think they were going to put them? No offense, but sorry. So I'm glad to see that Kamala's getting more spotlight again. And it seems like she's going back to her classic look. That's fine. I'm all for that. But we also got to remember now that she is a human mutant, an inhuman mutant hybrid, that's cool. And I don't think they still acknowledge what is her mutant power. Like, what is the mutate? What is that? But she is still inhuman. You know, but still, it's cool. And I like this. This is interesting. I said I'm going to give all this Rise from the Ashes era of Marvel, of X-Men comics a chance. Now I just need to see who's writing X Factor and who's going to be on that team. That's for sure. But I still need to know who's going to be writing the Storm book and who's writing Wolverine. Will Ben Percy stay on, or is he leaving? Or is it going to be a new creative team on it? But yes, those are the only 3 titles under the Rise of Ashes era of X-Men that we don't know about. Hopefully Marvel will drop the news soon and I will report on it. But yes, this still looks fun. I will give it a shot like anything else. But yeah, it's cool. There are a few young X-Men I wish that was in this besides them, but it's cool. Maybe we will see more, but it's all good. Kamala seems to be taking front stage in this. She and I guess Laura may be sharing the top billing, so it's cool. And I got one question for you guys, for anybody who is a fan of this character, but I got a question. Your boy got a question. Who done tore and whooped Namor's ass? You see this cover? Look at this. Who done tore and whooped Namor's ass? Now look, we all know Namor can be a dick and everything like that, but to see him like this is like, damn, who whooped his ass? Jason Aaron's, the man, another one of my favorite writers, is returning back to Marvel to write this 8-part miniseries that focuses on some events that leads up to what made Namor the way he is now, and also the dark secrets of Atlantis, some new kingdoms that were never shown in any Marvel comics, things like that. Aaron's is going to be writing it, so, and most people that I've seen who've seen this says it's Aaron's. I'm gonna give it a shot. But yes, this, when I saw this cover, I was like, who done tore and whooped his ass? Now the thing about it is, Namor currently is in jail. He's in human jail. He is in prison, and I believe someone told me that he has some sort of inhibitors that have made him weak, so he's not at full strength. That's what I've been told. But at the end of the day, to see Namor like this is ridiculous. And as part of it, I gotta somewhat laugh at it. And I remember when someone said to me, when I put that I posted this on all my social medias, who done tore and whooped Namor's ass? Someone came and said, probably a man a husband that finally got revenge on him from trying to hit on his wife. Is the funniest thing ever. But I may give it a shot. It's Aaron's. It's Jason Aaron. I'm all for it. But I don't hate Namor. Let's get that out. Well, I wouldn't say I don't hate him, but I'm not the biggest Namor. If he's in something, that's fine. But I don't collect Namor comics like that. I really don't. But this may get me to read it, just in case. But because Atlantis has been fucked, and there's been all these wannabe kings that have tried to take leadership of it, but it hasn't worked. And we just recently got in one of the giant-sized books, one of the previous rulers of Atlantis. You get to know where Namor gets that Imperious Rex from, where his war cry. The Fantastic Four actually met that man. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I had to laugh. I was like, this is funny as hell to me. Like the cover, just seeing like someone whooped him. He got whooped. They whooped that trip. Sorry, no, sorry. But yeah, that's pretty messed up. Sorry, Namor. And we move from the world of Atlantis in terms of the Marvel Universe into that little niche corner in the Marvel Universe that deals with the symbiotes. Al Ewing, the man himself, will be bringing us Venom Wars. That's going to pit father and son against each other. Eddie Brock and his son Dylan Brock are going to go at it. With all the different symbiote characters, you got Flash, who's anti-Venom. Remember, Black Widow has her own symbiote now called Widow. So we're going to see all these symbiotes. Whose side are they going to be taking in this battle between father and son? Now, Dylan is not his father. He is way different, and sometimes he really is not fully in control, or he lets that symbiote rule his mind. And I've seen it in the countless books, and it's kind of scary sometimes, because you gotta remember, he's still a kid, but at the same time that symbiote rules over him, and it's just like, you're like, kid, what the hell? But I'm interested in this. This is cool, because we've seen many stories that centered around the symbiote, from Maximum Carnage to Separation Anxiety, Absolute Carnage, King, just stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out the victor between this. Will be Daddy, or will it be the son? Will the son become the king, or will the father whoop his ass. I'm sorry. I was trying to come up with something funny, but yeah. And I love Al Ewing. I do love his writing. He's really good at it. And it's going to be really interesting, indeed. Venom Wars. We are Venom. And I cannot... Let's get to some ladies. Let's talk about some ladies here. Let's talk about some of the ladies of Marvel. And it turns out, who read Daredevil Women Without Fear? Did you like it? I did. Seeing Elektra as Daredevil fighting Kraven the Hunter, woo, that was some good reading. That was some good reading. That was a good fight. And hey, Elektra made one of my favorite, #1 favorite Spider-Man villains look like a pauper. She made him look bad. Just put it like that. Well, it seems that Elektra's coming back. Even though Matt is back as Daredevil, she's still being Daredevil as well. And she's coming back, and she's going to be dishing out her own justice out in Madripoor. So this should be interesting. For anybody who doesn't know what Madripoor is, it's one of the well-known fictional countries in Marvel. It is an island chain that has no law, no government. It's pretty much all for bad guys. You know, you could be out there and you can kill somebody and ain't nobody going to do anything about it. Did we see it in the MCU? Yeah, we did. Wolverine has spent time out there, but Elektra's going to be going out there now. Now, it's going to be written by Erica Schultz, and I'm forgetting the artist. I believe it's Downing. I'm forgetting the artist, but I'm a big Elektra fan. I'll read anything Elektra. I have, and again, this is probably something I will pick up and trade. You know, I've been starting to do that more and more, guys. Like, certain books I will get single issues, and there's certain books that I'd like, you know, I'll just wait till it come out and trade, you know, because sometimes trades read better. When you read, it'll read better when you have everything right there. And then you don't have to wait a month or to the next month and things like that. That's something, that's just me personally. I was the guy that used to say, I don't want trades. And then I started realizing, you know, there's some there's benefits to them. So yeah, this is very interesting. We're gonna see Elektra fighting Crossbones. I'm all for that. We're getting some good nitty gritty fighting between Elektra and villains of the Marvel Universe. I'm all for it. Her fighting Crossbones is gonna be great, because if I have loved every fight Crossbones has had with Captain America over the years, they've been some nitty gritty stuff. So if Cap can whoop that ass, damn right Elektra Nachios can do it too. Are you a werewolf fan? Y'all know Jack Russell, right? If you don't know who that is, you should. Because Marvel's Resident Werewolf is coming back, but a part of the Red Band line. Now Marvel has been doing this, they're starting it with the Blood Hunt series. There's going to be 2 versions of it, the regular and the Red Band. The Red Band is these nitty, more explicit versions of these comics, and they're doing it again with Werewolf by Night. He's returning with a new series. It's been a long time since Jack has had a series, a real series. I mean, man, how long has it been? Like 70s? It's been like 30 something years since. Now they did a Werewolf by Night. Marvel introduced us to a new Werewolf by Night that was written by Black Eyed Peas member Taboo. It was all right. I didn't hate it. It was pretty cool. It took more place in the Southwest. And so it was interesting. It made sense to have like a indigenous werewolf, and I respected what he did with it. But if you are a Werewolf by Night fan, you want to see Jack back. You want to see Jack. So we're getting Jack, and it's going to be written by Jason Lue, and I keep forgetting. I had these artists down. I think it's Sarah Gade, Sarah and Joe. I'm butchering it. These names are hard. I don't want to butcher these names, but I'm all for this because I've always been a fan of The Werewolf by Night. I've always that. We all know where he debuted, and when he was, we all know he was around since the '70s, and we all know he had a brand of justice. He would, when it was threats, he would let the wolf out. My pack. He let the wolf out and dish out his own justice. And if you didn't like that TV special that they did, you're fooling yourself. If you said, I didn't like the MCU TV special they did, you're fooling yourself because that shit was great. Werewolf by Night. We gotta talk about this because I'm torn. Your boy is torn between this because Earth's Mightiest Heroes will be dealing with the Xenomorphs. That's right. We're getting a crossover between the Avengers and aliens. Now that Marvel owns the license to, Fox and all that, they can do this. And so they're doing it. What's very interesting about this is that you would have thought it would be the X-Men dealing with the Xenomorphs, but it's not. And so we're going to see Jonathan Hickman and his partner in crime, Issa Rivik, doing the artwork. The last time they were together, they did Secret Wars. So seeing them back together is cool. I am a Jonathan Hickman fan. I know he loves his science. Jonathan Hickman loves his science. He can go crazy with this. But it does make me wonder what Avengers will be. If you see in the cover, we see Cap, we see two Caps, and we see Iron Man. Will there be any others? But I'm torn because there are a couple of you guys, and I'm not going to shout y'all out, but I'll just say this. There was some of y'all that are like, is this real? And I'm like, yeah, it's real. And some have asked me, am I going to pick it up? And I'm like, yeah, probably will. But in trade. Because once again, this is a crossover that will probably read better in trade than just issue to issue. That's why I waited till Wolverine versus Predator came out. I'm going to finish reading that, and so I'll give you my thoughts on that. But yeah, the only thing that's going to bother me about this is fucking facehuggers. And you know that these facehuggers are going to be in this goddamn book. And I swear to God, like, if I see, I don't care. Like, people, y'all laugh at it. Like, these things creep me out. I don't care if they're motion or drawn. Fucking creeps me out. I'm dead. I am not joking about this. I'm terrified of those things. Like, I see them and it's just like, ugh. Like, I can't. I have tried to conquer this demon for a long time, for years, and it don't work. I have tried. I don't know what it is about these things that just fucking just creep me out. Maybe it's the fact that I put myself in the people that get face hugged, and I'm just like, oh, could you imagine that shit crawling on you? I'm like, so hopefully we don't see Cap get one or anybody. I don't want to see that. But I will check it out. But I am excited for it though. I'm not gonna say that I'm not excited, but this is cool. I still want Marvel to do some crossovers that are not in their own company. Yes, you could still say, oh, this is a crossover, Chris, but at the same time, they're in the same company. They're not outside. Marvel needs to put aside the whole dick measuring contest and give us fans some crossovers that we've been wanting. How many people want a crossover between Daredevil and the Ninja Turtles? I do. Huh? Let's go. Don't be an asshole, Marvel. Stop doing my dick's bigger than yours. Let's go. But I am excited for this. I really am. And it's Hickman. It's Isad. Mr. Ribic. I'm all for it. Let's do it. Well, guys, I ran my mouth off enough. That's some of the news that's coming out of the world of comics. You guys tell me in the comment section down below, which of these titles will you be picking up? I want to hear it. And if you like what you heard, give me a like. Leave a comment. I would appreciate that. And if you'd like to join the Patreon and become an Uber Pack member, feel free. I'm not forcing you, but whatever you do, just keep it real. And with that being said, guys, I will see you guys next time. Peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, my fellow geeks. Deuces.